Batman, 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 hey, Batman, Batman. Mr. Never use a gap, man. Never turn like a Batman.
The James Harden disrespect. Look, to be honest with you guys, I used to be one of those people who used to slander James Harden every single chance I got. But the more I learn about him, the more I realize we gotta stop sleeping on this man. This is for all the haters out there. But before we get into the video, before I start debunking the myths surrounding James Harden, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Follow me on all these social media platforms if you like what I do. And with that being said, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be talking about a lot of myths surrounding James Harden's career, and I'm going to be simply debunking them with facts, with stats, and things of that nature. And the first thing that I want to debunk about James Harden is the fact that people like to say, oh, well, he's not clutch. Well, right on the screen for you, I have an interesting statistic for you. Since the year 2009, these are the leading clutch scorers. Westbrook was first with 1,300,000 points, then LeBron, followed by KD, followed by James Harden. So in terms of the last decade, the last 10 years, James Harden is fourth in clutch time scoring. But I thought he wasn't clutch, according to the haters. Now, the next myth or narrative about James Harden that I would like to debunk is he shoots too many free throws. He's just a ref manipulator. That's all he is. He's just a baiter, so to speak. Well, if you would take a look on the screen, I always have the facts for you. He shoots too many free throws. James Harden's season high in free throw attempts was 11.8. Now, to put that into perspective, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the greatest player who ever lived, his season high for free throws attempted was 11.9. No one ever says that Michael Jordan was a ref baiter or ref manipulator. Let's take a look at some more. Jordan averaged 8.7 free throws per game as a Chicago Bull. James Harden for his career averages 8.8 free throw attempts per game. And like I said, the narrative is that Harden shoots too many free throws, but Michael Jordan doesn't. Obviously, James Harden is not in Michael Jordan's league as a player, but just to bring up some perspective. Now, the next narrative or myth that I would like to challenge is the fact that James Harden supposedly always comes up short when facing the Golden State Warriors. Well, take a look at the screen, because like I said, I always have the facts for you guys. This is James Harden's stats when facing elimination against the Golden State Warriors. He puts up 32.2 points per game on 45% shooting from the field, 36% shooting from three, 7 boards, 5.4 assists. Now, don't get it twisted. Obviously, James Harden has had bad games against the Warriors, but people tend to just throw out these false narratives without doing any type of research that James Harden just comes up short when he sees the Golden State Warriors, which is simply not true. Another narrative that I want to debunk is this weird thing that goes around when people say Steph owns James Harden. Now look, before I even read to you what's on the screen and give you the context for it, understand that yes, I would rather have Steph Curry than James Harden to start a franchise. He is simply the greater player. But in terms of head-to-head, James Harden absolutely destroys Curry's numbers when you compare them over their last 2 playoff series head-to-head. Every single category, James Harden led in. Now, yeah, you can say, oh, well, Steph Curry had to defer to KD, but that's my point exactly. Steph does not own James Harden by any means. The next narrative that I want to tackle is the fact that James Harden is some defensive liability and he hasn't gotten any better. Now, yes, it's true for the majority of James Harden's career, he's been a very pathetic defender, but he has improved significantly, especially this season. And let's just go ahead and look on the screen. 1.7 steals per game, that is 6th in the NBA. 0.9 blocks per game, best among guards. 3rd in deflection. He's 14th in deflections at 3 deflections per game. And on average, opponents shoot 44% from the field when defended by James Harden, which is 2% fewer than league average. So clearly, he's taken leaps on the defensive end of the basketball. Clearly, he's not a Kawhi Leonard. He's not, Jimmy Butler. He's not going to take, the other team's best player for 48 minutes. But he's a better defender than people give him credit for. Now, the next argument or narrative that I want to debunk is the fact that LeBron supposedly deserved the 2018 MVP over James Harden. Now, winning and statistical dominance all come into play when it comes to determining the MVP. And James Harden had the stats, and his team won more games in a tougher conference. So clearly, James Harden deserved his 2018 MVP, and we need to stop saying LeBron deserved it. The last thing I want to talk about with you guys as far as this whole James Harden myth debating is the whole D Wade versus James Harden conversation or debate, if you will. Now, when it comes to greatness, who's the greater player? That's clearly Dwayne Wade. But in terms of talent, in terms of productivity on the court, James Harden is just a superior basketball player in literally every single statistical category. It's right there on the screen for you. He's a better scorer, he's a better shot maker, he's a better rebounder, he's a better passer. And when it comes to playoffs, when it actually matters, James Harden, same thing, follows suit. As a starter in Houston, every single statistical category higher than Dwayne Wade's. Dwayne Wade is easily greater. He has championships. He's done so much for the game of basketball. And in terms of greatness, like I mentioned, the championships, that's what's going to pole vault him above James Harden in terms of all-time shooting guards. Dwayne Wade is probably the third greatest shooting guard in NBA history, but James Harden is easily a top 5 shooting guard ever. He's probably 4th or 5th. And like I said, whenever people talk about this debate, the whole Wade versus James Harden comparison, they act like James Harden is not more talented. He's simply a more gifted basketball player. And that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I just wanted to make a quick video discussing the James Harden disrespect, the James Harden hate, and I wanted to put it all in a video so that way you can see it, and that way you can, see all the stats for yourself and see all the facts. And that's pretty much all I have for you guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you like what I do, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.